back. 119. You don't even got to count it down. I'm
He was
good.
ready for it.
I'm
I was still
here.
put
I'm ready.
episode 119 of the BSG podcast, brought to you by our friends at Moon Golf. If you're new here, or if you're not new here, I'm Casey. This is Zach, and we're got a special episode for you tonight. We're gonna talk briefly about the President's Cup happening this weekend. We have Evan Smith joining us, assistant coach at Georgia Tech Golf. We have our segment called Four, where that's everything coming up. And we have our Drop Zone segment coming to you. So until Evan joins in, we're just going to jump right into it. But first, I want to take a second and kind of tell you everything Moon Golf has to offer and why we love Moon Golf. So you want to go for it?
Yeah, sure. So, Moon Golf, Auburn, Alabama. I can't remember the other two locations. Two more locations in Florida, Melbourne and
Is it Lake Verde or something?
Lake Verde, something.
I
Anyways,
think so.
they have it all. Clothing, apparel, footwear, clubs, balls, gear. I went and got 24 balls before our most recent trip. Used them all. Use them all. But there's tons of fitters. You'll never find a better place as far as quality employees and employees there to help you. It's not like
Agreed.
you go to Dick's or Edwin Watts or any of the other golf stores and there's like two people for the whole store. There's always someone there to help you.
And
That's why we love them. It's just friendly. It's a vibe.
and we talk about them, but recently on this trip to Utah, we went in a golf store. And I think we got greeted when we walked in, but other than that, nobody came to help. Nobody assisted
Yeah.
anything. Vibe was not as friendly as it is Moon Golf. Usually, Moon Golf, when you walk in, you're greeted, and then someone will come talk to you specifically and ask what they can help you with, or if there's anything to help with. So we love the service of Moon Golf. I also got me some golf balls for the trip. Went through them very quickly out in Utah. Uh, but go check out Moon Golf. We love them. We're thankful for the partnership. We believe we don't just say it because they're partners, but we'd shop there even if they weren't. We love it.
Yeah,
So
we were
go check
shopping
them out.
there as soon as they opened before they partnered with us. So it's not like anything would change either way.
Agreed. President's Cup. Let's jump into it real quick. It kind of snuck up on us. I wasn't until I saw a post this week or at the end of last
I
week. I
forgot there was
wasn't even
golf still going on.
saying, and I was not sure about that it was President's Cup. So, quick drop on it. This is at Royal Montreal Golf Club in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Uh, this is on their website. I didn't know this till I researched it. This is the oldest golf club in North America where they're having
That's
this at.
wild.
Last hosted the President's Cup in 2007, which is when Captain Jack Nicklaus and Captain Gary Player, their last time meeting each other's captains, they were captains 3 President's Cups in a row, and U.S. won it. Playing the blue course, which is a par 70, 7,279 yards.
That's very long and a very low par.
That's what I was thinking. Like, so I guess there's probably only one par 5 per 9 instead of 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they'd get rid of the par 3s or the amount of par 4s.
We'll upload some info this week on it. We'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
I need to spend some time and go through the course and look at it.
If you go to the President's Cups website, they have a really good hole by hole you can look at. So this year we are led by Jim Furyk, and the international team is led by Mike Weir. Went back and looked, and this is not like the Ryder Cup, as in the USA dominates the President Cup. There's been 14 battles. USA has won 12 of them. The international team has won 1, and they have tied 1, which was retained the cup for US. The US is just dominating this every year.
I wish the Ryder Cup was like that.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like
how we
we
just
never
dominate.
win as the away team.
Never. It's like anytime. Which this year we're in New York at Bethpage, so I'm looking forward to that. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up the teams real quick. We're loaded. I do know that. I was looking at it earlier today.
I like the outfits. I saw the international team just had like the sweaters with the polos poking
Oh
through.
yeah.
Looks very classical
I'm
for a
usually
golfer.
more of a fan of the President's Cups outfits than the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup is so crazy, but President's Cup is clean. But USA, we're led by Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark. I don't know how he keeps making these things. Patrick Cantlay, Sahith, uh, Keegan Bradley, the Ryder Cup president, Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Brian Harmon, our Columbus own Russell Henley, and Max Homa.
Where
That's a,
is DeChambeau?
I don't think they approved that until
It's
after
still
all of
so
this.
wild that you can, for a countrywide event, that the best from the USA and he's not there
That's true.
because they're missing
Uh,
Brooks and DJ as well. Which
yeah,
DJ might not be playing that well now, but Brooks is still there.
yeah. This is all tour people. Did you see Vessel is the official bag for the President's
Mm.
Cup?
I need to talk to our guy Scott at Moon Golf about getting me a single strap sleeve. Not a
For
fan of the backpack straps because I will never walk a course and carry a bag. If I'm walking, I'm pushing the cart or I'm riding in a cart.
True, and we love our Vessel bag. Shout out Vessel. Um, so the U.S. team is loaded. The international team has a good team as well. Just nobody you look at and you think, oh, that's going to really put a run up for our money. So I'm going U.S. Not because I'm just a citizen of the United States, but I think they're loaded.
Scotty is such a good anchor.
No, true. Somebody said I was watching the Bryson. He's doing the break 50. And, he just came out with the one with Bob Does Sports. And somebody's like, if he did it with Scotty, it'd be a break 45 challenge because
Yeah,
they do it all. It was like Scotty or
Scotty
Tiger.
needs
They
to
just
get
said
on there. That would be some good content too.
that'd break the internet right there. Which
Or him and Brooks
that would be a fun one. I'm surprised I haven't done it yet.
because
I
they're
was just
friends now. They're over it.
I was 9 holes into that video just now, and they were 9 under through nine. But this is the first time he's done a 4-man. Usually it's just him and one other. And he's got close a lot of times. He's got on the number. So I
50
don't
is
know.
not breaking 50. So
Yeah. So we're actually going to do a take on the break 50. This is a new. It's kind of going all over the internet now, but we're going to have our take at it, and we're going to do it with
local
local,
pros.
pros that we've interviewed, and even try to get some of these college golfers on that we've interviewed. And from the Ford tees, which is the same tees Bryson does it from, we're going to attempt to break 50 at the pros or golfers, local course that they feel comfortable playing at.
I think we'll have several attempts at three, and we'll be mid 50s, high 50s. And then
Yeah.
we'll have to break out a fourth to
The only thing,
succeed.
the only thing I'm concerned about is people of their skill level doing it with us and just getting frustrated at us for not pulling our weight.
We could always give lines putting.
Yeah. The last thing I want to do is start getting real close and then us just not be hitting good shots and then be like them doing it by themselves.
I'm thinking like our first one might have to pull a player from the team to succeed.
You think so? You
As
don't
like
think
a,
it's just, I
I
think
don't
we have
know.
to do it with just one part, like us plus Maddox, just to get a gauge for it
Oh
uh,
yeah, I'm
before we
saying what
start
I'm
adding.
thinking that's 55,
Yeah.
58.
But I think that's part of the fun. We don't want to break it right away. We want to, I think, if we try to keep it the BSG plus, Maddox, and then plus Scott, and then plus.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what I'm saying. I'm saying we
oh
attempt
yeah.
it with all,
Oh, you're saying
see who we can
use
get
a.
closest with, and then once if we don't break it, then we're like, okay, let's bring Jacob Joseph
Oh yeah.
with
I'm
Maddox.
excited. We're gonna try to get. If y'all been fans of the channel for a long time, you've seen us. We filmed 2 videos with AJ. We filmed the first one. He was 14. The next one he's 15, and now I think he's about to be 16 or 16. The kid is a stick right now.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a fun one with him because now he's getting that personality. Like he likes to have
Oh
fun.
yeah. He's at first I think when he played he was kind of quiet,
Yeah,
and now he's been in enough events where, and he's played with us some where
yeah,
he knows we're just there for fun. We're not trying to beat anyone or hurt any feelings. We're just playing golf.
so
So
I
for him
think
to
it'd be
join the team,
yeah.
which
And
I need to text his dad.
and let us know in the comments if there's anybody you think we should attempt this with. But we're going to reach out to people that we've had on the pod or the videos first, and even going to try to reach out to um, just some big names that we've had on here because I think that would be fun to do. Like if we could get up to what's up, Evan?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How are
Good. How
you?
are you?
Doing
This is
good.
our guest, Evan Smith.
Yeah, we're just, if you're good, we're going to jump into it. We kind of set it up a little bit, and
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
First off, love that polo with that script on there. That is
Thank you.
clean.
Thank you.
Um, everybody, this is Evan Smith. I know him from we both graduated from the same college.
Yeah,
He's served as the assistant coach at Point University. Um, both years, I believe, assistant coach of the year. Correct?
correct. Yeah, yeah. I got
Stud.
lucky.
Uh, Yeah, he helped lead the team to their first NAIA in the national championship tournament. Then he's director of golf at Point University. He was assistant coach. Served as the men and women's head coach at St. Andrews University, and then joined the Army in 2019. So you've done everything. It feels
A
like.
little bit, yeah. It feels that way.
Yeah. So we got him on, and first thing I want to say, as we're just going to jump into it, this is perfect timing because Georgia Tech's coming off a big win from this past weekend. Played with some of the tough teams in there. You had Alabama in there, Arizona State, and Oklahoma State, which is basically between y'all and Arizona State, correct? At the
Yeah,
end.
at the end, yeah. Our guys, we kind of got lucky. I'll be honest with the weather. Kind of made it where they played 36 holes in one day, and that kind of allowed our run to continue when we were hot. So I think
Uh,
just got lucky in that instance, and then made best of that opportunity that we didn't kind of take that opportunity and kind of ran with it. So it was cool to see the guys kind of play well. And 36 holes is kind of tough sometimes. So it was cool to see the strength and conditioning and everything that goes in the back end of golf and the work of that kind of transpire into a victory.
what was y'all's strategy as the coaches that day? Were you just finding players that needed a little pep talk, or did you have like I'm going to stick with these guys, this
Yeah,
18?
so the guys that typically I would say normally we had so it was kind of a cool victory. Coach Helper is in his 30th year, and said that kind of his words were it was his first victory where every single player kind of did something special when they needed to, and so it was more just about letting the guys kind of play. We felt like we were pretty close to this. There were some question marks in the beginning of the year. I wasn't kind of I've been very fortunate enough to kind of come on in August, but in the very beginning stages of my kind of tenure at Tech was a lot of talk on how the team is going to react from kind of some departures of key players from last year and years prior. And so it was a really cool opportunity for our guys to really see and believe that kind of be the players that as coaches we know that they can be. Um, and so it was more or less just getting out of their way and letting them play to their best potential.
That's so wild. Like I was looking at the score of it, and I think y'all are 12 under, correct?
Yeah,
Arizona State was 11 under,
yeah.
and then every one of us was like 10 strokes behind. Do you think it was something with the course where your guys were just clicking, or
So
what was such a big scoring
right,
gap between the top two teams and everybody
yeah.
else?
So like I said, we kind of got hot, and it was a course that when you get hot, par is a good number at Olympia Fields at a big kind of championship golf venue, and we were very fortunate enough. So East Lake opened up to the I guess to the members right after the tour championship, and so
Hmm.
that's also another home course of Georgia Tech, and so we're very fortunate enough to be able to do some rounds out there and
Yeah,
kind of help prepare because it was really I think most of golf fans watched the tour championship this year, but if you haven't, it was really cool to see that golf course as a championship golf course, and so to kind of go back to that, the players had a great venue to kind of prepare for Olympia Fields. It's another venue of championship golf. So I think that one, the preparation beforehand, and then two, when the players got there, again, it's a big boy golf course, and as coaches feel like our players are really good at hard golf courses, hard venues where um, par is kind of a good number, but also if you give yourself a birdie opportunity and they happen to fall, you now just made a big leap on the field. And so we had a guy, Benjamin Reuter, who's a kind of play to his potential that week, and I think it was a great chance for him to kind of learn from that and see that I can compete with the best. And he was a red shirt, so last year he didn't play, so it was kind of a cool thing for him to again instill that belief that you can
Yeah.
compete with the best.
Like a big coming out party.
Yeah,
Say, hey, I am
yeah,
here.
absolutely.
This
Yeah,
is
we
my
had some
chance.
coaches kind of say, "Who is this guy?" And that was cool to hear because of the effort that they put into it, kind of on the back end piece.
So what all courses do y'all practice at during the week? Y'all use East Lake,
Yeah,
and do y'all have a
yeah.
one
So
close
we
to
got
you?
lucky and have a slice of heaven in Midtown Atlanta called the Noonan, which is right by IKEA, which most of the guys I know probably want to avoid at all costs. But if you ever over there from the parking lot, you kind of see our little slice of heaven over there. And then we're very privileged to be able to play Golf Club of Georgia and have a membership out of there. And they were kind of the first private country club, along with Eastlake, to kind of give us membership rights. And so it was a blessing to be able to play those two great golf courses. It's hard to find anything better kind of in the Atlanta area, and then you partner that with a campus practice facility that is right off campus. Our guys actually live um, about 500 yards from there, so
Oh
it's
wow.
really easy for them to walk to it and utilize. So it's kind of the best of both worlds of some championship golf courses along with a championship practice facility.
How do you keep momentum from like this fall, carry it through Christmas break, and get ready for the spring? Because the spring is kind of where things get ramped up,
Yeah.
right? And you get ready for the so how do y'all keep that momentum and not like get too hot now and then
Yeah.
fizzle out before
Yeah,
spring?
so I'm lucky as the assistant. All I got to do is I get the easy job or fun job of just hopefully being best friends with these guys in a big brother role. But I think more importantly, to speak on that, I guess with mindset, I don't want to talk for Coach Helpler, but from the little short time I spent with him, he's a big believer in what we call deposits versus withdrawals. And so,
Hmm.
as long as you make deposits, and what he means by that is like a pat on the back or telling yourself like great shot and believing in yourself is making a deposit. And then if you have a positive deposit, you're able to kind of withdraw from that and still be in the positive.
Yeah,
And so I think that a big thing is you mentioned like getting hot or too hot now. I think that it's to keep it going. And so not necessarily turn off the faucet, but make it go faster, make it go harder, and kind of keep it going. I do think though that it is a challenge. The line of um, I'll put it this way: if you're not playing good, it's like, hey, we still have the spring. Let's build on
yeah,
that. If you're playing good, then it's the challenge of, okay, how do we keep this going? But I think it's a good problem to have. So after coming back from Illinois, it's kind of every time you get out of the van, we know we can win, and that is something that I learned. Um, Even at point, it's hard to win. Point made it look pretty easy for a couple of years after I got kind of transitioned out of coaching. But it's tough to win at any level, but especially at kind of the Power Four, Power Five conference we have today. Um, so we don't take this win lightly. It actually last year they never won an event, and so I don't think most people realize that. But they finished second in they finished second a couple of times, and then a lot of fourth place finishes over and over and over again. And so if you look at that team versus this year's team, um, I don't necessarily have the answer of what that may be, but I know that I can only speak from experience this year. We have 8 guys on the team, and all 8 love each other. And
yeah.
it's a very rare, special group of guys. They're self disciplined that just are about being a team. And so I think it's just again making sure encouraging them that we are a team, and unfortunately, not everyone plays. So I think the biggest or coolest thing for me is helping our number 8 guy or the 3 or 4 guys that maybe aren't playing to their ability, and supporting them and loving on them and making sure that they feel seen, heard, and loved. And then the better they get, the better the team gets, because
Mhm.
they know that the guys that are playing know that, like, hey, I gotta keep this up or else this guy's gonna take my spot, and the guy kind of taking the spot is like, hey, I'm not playing and I want to play, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. But yeah, we're excited to go into kind of late fall season. We only have 3 events left, and so kind of hopefully continue this kind of trend or momentum into the spring.
The big question is, being at Georgia Tech, how often are you eating at the varsity?
I
So
thought they.
I'm actually a big fan of the varsity, but unpopular opinion on our team, it's a little overrated.
That's what my wife
Their
says.
words, not
I
mine.
always want to eat there, but my wife is not that big a fan of it.
I got lucky. So I live actually in Marietta, but it's near Kennesaw. And so there is a junior varsity about 3 miles from my house, and I frequent that. Big fan of the frosted orange, the FO.
Oh yeah.
So I'm very big fan of that.
What is there a certain tournament, the spring, other than the championship and all this kind of stuff that you're looking forward to? I'm looking at y'all's schedule,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say February you're going to Hawaii.
Yeah,
That's pretty
it's a
nice.
big one. So that's
Yeah.
a really cool one. I haven't gone, but it's a really big talk. In the weight room, that's our last ab finishers, all for Hawaii for the beaches.
Oh yeah.
So then it's also one that coach kind of puts different diameters on, kind of qualifying, and you have to perform in the classroom as well to go to that event because you miss a good bit of class, and so it's important to guys not only from a golf standpoint, but also just I think in kind of late January, February when the weather in Atlanta isn't as nice as other parts of the year, to be able to
Mhm.
kind of take that trip and go there. And the backstory that I learned, how coach kind of got in that event is pretty cool. And so I think that he doesn't take that event lightly. It's something that he worked towards to get in. When he came
Yeah.
on board, they were not in that tournament. It wasn't a tournament that he inherited. And so it's definitely one up there. But I also think that from my perspective as a coach, and this is going to be unpopular as well, and maybe a little naive to say because I've never done it, but I'm looking forward to like postseason regional play, and I just
Yeah.
think that our guys, um, even the short amount of time I've been there, just battle, and I think that's a cool thing to see, cool thing to be a part of. Guys that coming out of the military was something I was kind of around, and it was cool to kind of full circle be back around guys that are willing to the last person when they go to bed, the last person they thought about is themselves. And I think that is something that speaks true to our team. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do on the bigger scales. And the tournament kind of regionals is always kind of like a nail biter of a tournament or a tournament that you're not even really looking to win or it doesn't really do anything if you win. You're just looking to survive. And I think that we have not only survivors, but we have winners on our team. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's always special when you see teams where the guys are fully bought in.
Yeah.
And I mean, even across the sports, you can always tell when a team's together
Yeah.
as opposed to just there. I mean, even on the pro level, you can see a team that's just there for the check and there for the name and moving on.
Yeah.
And you can tell when the teams are bought in, fighting for each other. It's a special thing to witness.
It is. It's a
And y'all,
hard thing to
y'all are,
build, but a special thing to witness.
and y'all are traveling a lot. Y'all are going Hawaii, then you're back home, then California, then or Nevada. Is y'all schedule usually a lot of going out west like that?
Yeah, so I think coach kind of does everything with a purpose, and so I think in recent years it was to play against the best, and to kind of take advantage of some of the tournaments out west, especially now the national championship has been out west
Hmm.
somewhat in the last couple of years, and so he kind of saw that trend, and then I think like a testament to him and what he stands for, and also the faith that he has in his players and the work that the staff and players do on a day to day basis. And so his biggest thing is So 2 years ago they finished second at national championship, and then last year they finished fourth. And he finished second a lot of times, and so he won one as an assistant at Oklahoma State, but he's finished second as a head coach a bunch of times. And his big thing to me was in the hiring process was I personally get asked all the time. He was saying about, do I want to win one, or could I exit without winning one? And his response was, we win a national championship 365 days a year at Tech. And we won them for the last 30 years. And so I think for him, going back to scheduling, he likes to compete against the best. He likes to say that we have one of the toughest, if not the toughest, I think, schedule in college golf, just due to our events that we play. There's never really a give me field. And now with college golf having the 50% rule, that matters. Where going into postseason, you have to be kind of above 50% in order to qualify. And some people or some coaches view that as, hey, I'm going to pad the stats and make sure that my players kind of get into postseason. Coach Helper's kind of belief is we may not know exactly who we are at the beginning of the season, but due to our scheduling, we're going to find out. And I think that his big belief is, again, your work ethic deserves the right to go play the best events. That if we didn't work at it hard, or if he didn't instill that mentality, I don't know if his players would want to play the best events, and I don't think he would even want to play the best events. But I think just who he is as a person, and then kind of what we instill in our players, that produces a pretty tough season, but a fun one.
Yeah. Do y'all get any of y'all's alumni like Cooch and Stuart Sink? Do they come back in and help talk to the guys or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got very lucky with our practice facility. So one of the coolest things I saw um, is they give access to any Tech alum that's still playing professional golf, no matter what kind of level you're at, if you're on a developmental tour, Corn Ferry, PGA, or PGA Tour champion. So Stuart Sink is actually moved kind of near the practice facility, and so he comes out
Mm-hmm.
there 3 or 4 times a week. Is around
Oh,
the
wow.
guys. So you have a great group of young guys that just graduated in recent years that kind of live in Alpharetta, play at a golf club of Georgia, and then still come back to the practice facility a few times a week. Anders Albertson, Noah. So a great group of like young guys who are trying to make it. And then Matt Kuchar is still heavily involved. We actually have a fundraiser tournament that has grown. And again, I wasn't part of that, but Coach Helpler kind of shared with me the history of that. And when he came in, there was no fundraising golf tournament. There was no really alum base that was active. And through hard work in the last, I would say, 10 years, it's been a massive event. So in the beginning of November, Golf Club of Georgia, it will be, I think, 52 teams. So it's pretty massive. And every
Yeah,
team will have some kind of Tech alum golfer or Tech current golfer in the group.
that's
And
cool.
so it took some time, I think, for him to build up that alum base. But once it got built, it's pretty active and it's really cool to see. So I've got to meet kind of several of those guys. The names are on the wall and they kind of made history while they were there. And then to turn around and also kind of give back to the university to kind of maybe help them where they're at in life is pretty special to watch. And I know from the guys' perspective, it's really cool from a recruiting's perspective of, these guys are have done what you've done and then are kind of doing what you want to do. And so it's cool to have those guys kind of stick around. And I mean, even if it's not even about golf, they have a fantasy football league. It's all the Corn Ferry golfers that are young alum with our current golfers. And so it doesn't even have to do with golf, but just helping them kind of get in the right mindset or get over an event or, a bad breakup or whatever college kind of kids go through, and how to navigate that. And I think the biggest thing is, again, instilling that belief of kind of positive reinforcement and that belief of I'm going to be out there. I'm going to make this.
Now, with one of the most, I guess, famous Georgia Tech alums is also the person that founded the most famous golf course in America.
Yeah,
Do y'all get access to Augusta any? With Bobby Jones being an alumna?
I've been told that we go out there once a year and it's pretty
So
spectacular.
have you haven't been out there yet,
I have
have you?
not. So we'll go out there in the spring, kind of late. early spring, late winter. But it's unbelievable that we get that chance. We also get to play Peachtree Golf Club in Atlanta. Um, we get very lucky in our golf courses, and our donors are extremely generous, not only from an alum standpoint, but some of them that don't even really have ties to tech, but just found their way to a tech golfer that maybe touched them or allowed them to kind of say like, wow, these guys are being raised right. And I think coaches mentality and how he runs the team attracts people to kind of respect,
Mm-hmm.
because we do everything small, right? So small stuff, shaving every day. So we can go play East Lake. You have a shaved face, clean clothes, iron clothes, your belt's on straight, your hat's on straight, which I would say in today's world isn't necessarily something that everyone sees or um, gives credit where credit is due, but it's more the mentality of the small stuff and everything you do leads up to big things. And so some of our donors have paid attention to that and over the time kind of learned to respect that. And we even have I'm not going to name their names, but some Georgia fans and Georgia grads that are Georgia Tech golf
Oh,
donors.
wow.
So it's been really cool to see again just that what that brand and what that means. Because it's awesome to say, yeah, I play golf at Tech or I work at Tech, and people are like, oh, okay, wow, that's awesome. You're really good. It's more important or special to hear, wow, you guys do it right.
Yeah.
And I think that that's
Mm-hmm.
been really cool. But yeah, we get to play some special places. So luckily for me, my score doesn't count anymore. So I think the pressure's off there. But I got some practicing to do. I know that.
So you do a lot of, you're part of your job is the recruiting process,
Mhm.
right? But we just saw last week, Marshall's head coach is talking about all you can eat biscuits. Is Georgia Tech going to do some all you can eat varsity or anything like that?
That'd be a cool.
NIL deal?
Um,
Or a Waffle House.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
gonna say
there's
I might take
several
these ideas and
downtown.
write them down. That seems
Yeah.
cool. We haven't tried that yet. We're getting outside the box on how we recruit though, as far as visits and what that looks like. Before we did a little standard, kind of everything the same. We're trying to have some fun with it now, so might have to write those down. Those are pretty good ideas.
Yeah. Do you
Are
still
they
get
unlimited
competitive?
waffles or hash
Oh,
browns?
Oh, waffles all
That
day. I'm weird
that would
though.
find me right
So
now.
I'm really weird. So in basic training in the army, I was everyone's friend because I don't like bacon, and I know I'm going to get killed, but I don't like bacon. But I made friends with everyone because I give up bacon for an extra waffle. And
Oh
that's
yeah, that's
probably
that's
why
a
I
good
don't look
trade.
like a barrel chested freedom fire. But I eat a lot of waffles. I love waffles.
do you still get competitive and want to compete with the guys when you are out there?
Yeah. Sadly, I my pride got the best of me, and I said no shots. That I didn't need any shots, and I was heavily reminded of Coach. We'll give you some shots. So I hate losing. I don't think they like losing to me, and I hate losing to them. So it kind of makes a fun environment. Um, I did, but I did lose, and I did 4 rounds of the ab crusher instead of just the regular one. So I paid for it, but it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I tend to try to play a little bit now with the guys, do chipping competitions. We have a par 3 course at the practice facility, and so we do crazy stuff like 215-yard par 3 from a downhill line in the rough,
Hmm.
stuff that my ability only gets me so far. But it's pretty fun to watch, and then every now and again they see the little glimpse of like, that was pretty cool, coach. That was a good shot.
Yeah.
But for the
Maybe he
most
was
part,
something back in the day.
yeah. But for the most part, it's a good reminder of there a reason why they're at Tech, and there's a reason why I was not. So, uh, but it's been fun.
That's cool. We're about to start off with. We're actually going to start with Coach Maddox now,
Yeah,
but he was, I guess, a teammate for you,
yeah.
Maddox. We're going to do the thing that Bryson's doing, where we're going to attempt to us two versus
Oh man,
a pro break 50 from the forward
yeah.
tees. So we're doing it with Max. Then we're doing. I don't know if you know Scott Porter at Noonan.
I
We're doing
do. I
Scott.
actually bought a putter off him that I owe him everything because I make everything with it.
Is
Oh,
it?
It
he's a
Was it the
putter
lab?
was the
guru.
lab. Yep.
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 Uh, So we're doing it with him. And so when you're in the off season, we need to come up to Atlanta.
Yeah,
We'd love to film one with you and try to
absolutely. Yeah.
work.
So funny story about Maddox. So Maddox was a teammate of mine for 2 years, and then I graduated. He was a junior in college, and I became his assistant coach. And we hit it off kind of right away from like a team perspective. But obviously, when I was a coach, it was a little different dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think hats off to him because he handled it, I think, the best I saw on the team as far as handling that transition and respecting my career path or aspirations as a coach. And so we went to play our first conference event. And like I said, we had not won one before, and Maddox was a heck of a player. So it was at Governor's in Ackworth, Georgia, where I kind of grew up. And so we go there, and I was only supposed to walk the first 3 holes with Maddox. And at that time, I think he was our number 3 or 4 guy. I can't remember. He was a good player, but we kind of had some seniors on the team, and he was a sophomore or a junior, but he played like I think 3 or 4 on that team. And so I was supposed to kind of just get him off, set the strip, and then kind of report back to Coach Payne.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 4 under through 3. So I stayed on the bag. Through the 54 holes, we ended up winning by a shot. And so at nationals, I kind of was walked on the bag with them all through nationals. And then that next year, I walked a good bit with Maddox as our number 2 guy. And then again, we go to conference championship at Carolina Country Club. And my dad actually came out and watched Maddox it was a 36-hole Monday event. And Maddox hit, I think, 35 out of 36 greens.
Oh, wow.
It was a pretty stressful event on the putting green, but it was such a fun tournament. Something that my dad and I still talk about. Just watching Maddox put on I don't think I've ever seen someone hit it any better.
He's a dog.
Yeah, he is. And then the final day, walking with Maddox kind of down the stretch, and we actually won both conferences by a shot. So it was kind of a wire-to-wire finish as far as an electric finish too. But we didn't really know exactly who won by the end of it. But we were very blessed. And then Maddox is just a heck of a person that I think makes a great coach. And I know he cares about those kids a lot, and it's been really cool to see kind of what he's done.
But yeah, we filmed a video against him. We thought we could catch him slipping, being a coach, not practicing much. But as soon as we got the first day, he quit talking to us.
Yeah,
and it got real competitive real quick.
He has a different
and he beat us.
he has a different gear than I do too. He pounds it out there.
Yeah, he does. Turn it on. I don't have it.
Yeah, he's a good friend of ours. So we're hoping the next video
he might get
we're
mad
gonna do
at
the
me for
breakfast
saying
50.
this, but did he punch any putters? His notorious thing in college was bloody knuckles. He'd punch his putter and he would.
We're gonna have to bring that up to him next time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ask him.
I made the mistake. I was around Point in April. Kind of went and worked back for Point this past April for a little while, and I was around some freshmen on this golf team, and I was like, kind of told them that story, and they're like, "Oh man, we got to bring this up to Coach." I was like, "Dang, I probably should have told all the bad stuff about Coach." But I sent him a note that was like a text saying, "Sorry, man, I kind of spilled some beans on you as a player." But yeah, Maddox is a great guy.
We're gonna do that, and then there's a kid. I think he's 15 or 16 out, Noonan Country Club. AJ, we're gonna do it with him. Which hey, he should be on Georgia Tech's radar.
He's I know exactly who he is. I follow him on Instagram, so
he's a stud.
He's good.
Yeah. So listen, if he goes to Georgia Tech, we need some part of the NIL. We need to talk to AJ.
I just want to
I'll mark it down this conversation.
Yeah, we'll talk to AJ. We're gonna film a video with him soon. We'll talk to him. We'll just put some. Hey, I want to end with this question. Is there anything in the game of golf right now, in general, that you're not a fan of, or that you wish was different? Or I just like to see people that are more involved in the sport they're taking.
Yeah. So I guess two sides. One, I won't go into much because I'll be honest, I don't really know enough about it. But I wish the game was like professional golf was just simpler. I don't have an answer for that. Obviously, with the Live and PGA, I just wish it was a little simpler or happier on the professional side.
Like a career path to get there?
Yeah. And then I think they from a fan's perspective of just like sunnier skies, I guess, not as much like divide. And I think eventually you'll get there, but and I'm sure there's reasons that I have no clue that I'm kind of learning. But yeah, definitely just from a fan perspective of like turning on a PGA Tour event, you see a winner, and then you go to the Facebook post or whatever PGA Tour Instagram post about it, and there's a bunch of haters on it saying, well, the guy didn't even win against the best. They're on the Live Tour, and then you go to the Live Tour, and same thing. And so just a little more come togetherness. And
Mm-hmm.
then that ties in the piece that I'll kind of talk to as a coach, and it's something that I was very blessed to have that I actually as a young kid kind of despised. But my dad and both my parents, but my dad played golf competitively and was a great golfer himself, and so my dad's big rule was have fun. And he never pushed me. He was never a score person dad. I never had a father that was, you better practice this time. I actually introduced myself to golf. He just kind of made it available. And then his big rule was every single junior tournament I entered, I actually, once I got to an age, I signed up for myself. And that was really cool looking back that I wanted those results or I achieved those because I wanted to. And so I think that watching junior golf, even though I've been away from it a little bit, I like to say I never stopped coaching. I just didn't do it in the college golf form. So even in the military, having 18 to 21-year-olds kind of around you, and you see walks of all walks of life, from people that had great family homes to people that had nothing join the military. And so same thing in college golf. You never know who's going to walk in your door and what
Mm-hmm.
issues that they're going to bring in or say, hey, coach, I need help with ball. But I think just from junior golf perspective, parents just to have fun. I think that
Yeah.
college golf in particular is a lot of it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of money to get a junior golfer to be skill level to go play college golf. But that comes at a price, I think, when the kid doesn't want it as bad as the parents do. And so it's a fine line. But I would just like to see more kids want it. So what I mean by that is again like in a visit, the kid doing the talking, the kid doing the questions,
Mm-hmm.
and you get that, but you can easily tell when it's not that way. And then it makes you really sad from a coach or just a golf fan. And I got lucky enough. I play at a course called Dogwood in Austell, and there's two kids. One's a senior in high school now. One's a freshman actually playing at Young Harris. He actually just played in his first event today. So shout out to Mitch. But both of those kids are just great human beings, and I've watched kind of their parents kind of take a back seat, and they now get to own their journey. And it's cool to watch because it's almost like watching probably maybe a train wreck from afar as a parent of like you see the disappointments, you want to do everything to like protect your son or daughter and your child of um, making sure that they have the best opportunity to go forward. But I think it's even cooler or special when that parent allows that child to be in the driver's seat and truly take ownership, which is something that's rare today. But that's
Yeah.
what I'd love to see is more sports where junior kind of athletes are taking ownership of their own careers.
Yeah. I love it. And we'll be rooting for you
Yeah.
until the NCAA championship. Then I got to root for Auburn. I got to. We want a two-peat. We want a two-peat.
Yeah. Well, we got to
Um,
beat Tech first. So
yeah.
sting them.
So no, we're rooting for you. Thanks for coming on, Evan,
Yeah.
and talking golf
Absolutely.
with us. And we're for sure going to follow up when you got some downtime. We'd love to come hang out
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
see
I'd
the
love to
facilities
have you.
even.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Evan.
Absolutely. Bye.
All right. See you. All right, everybody. That was Evan. Had no clue where Zach went, but thanks for checking out the BSG podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.